Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the Justice Department views the temporary release of former Senator Leila De Lima from almost 7 years of detention as proof of the judiciary's independence. Expelled Congressman Arnie Teves remains elusive as the Marcos administration brings up his possible handover with the Timor-Leste government. And later, senators push for POGOs phaseout anew after finding out that foreigners own Philippine identification cards and documents. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla joins us in the program. On the first day of her temporary freedom, former Senator Leila De Lima went to a church in Pangasinan to pray for Thanksgiving and headed to her hometown in Camarines Sur to finally see her ailing mother after several years. But her camp is now studying how to hold accountable those who accused her of involvement in the illegal drug trade inside the National Penitentiary. De Lima says there has to be a day of reckoning for her and for the many other victims of the Duterte administration's war on drugs. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. Secretary Boying, welcome to the source, sir. Thank you for your time. Let me start, sir. First, how are you? It was reported that you had a minor medical emergency the other day.
I'm in pretty good shape. I'm okay, thank you.
Okay.
And that medical emergency is actually an appointment with a doctor that was belated and just came up, so I decided to make it my priority, because I had been waiting for an appointment for the last 4 months with that doctor. And he is my cardiac surgeon who did the bypass on June 27 in St. Luke's, Taguig.
So it's been about 4 to 5 months since your bypass surgery.
Exact, 4.5 months.
All right. And okay, so you're doing well, sir.
I believe so. I think I'm in good shape, much better than most other people who would undergo this. And I'm just thankful that I was prepared for the bypass in so many ways, that can be said. That is not given to other people. That at least this chance to be prepared for a bypass.
All right, good to hear. Secretary, let's move on to the pressing issues. Let's first talk about former Senator Leila De Lima. After 6 years, 8 months, and she said 21 days, I believe, the former senator now on bail. Just your reaction again. I know you gave a statement already when she was released on the judge's decision to grant her temporary liberty. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's the court that can actually see the situation. They're the ones who evaluate the evidence. And the judiciary is a very, very independent branch of government. We all know that. You have 3 branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. And all of them function well under a system of democracy. And it's a sign that the judiciary's independence cannot be questioned. Hindi pwedeng lagyan ng duda na malayang-malaya ang ating hudikatura na magdesisyon sa anumang bagay sa kanilang paningin ay tama at naaayon sa batas.
Mm-hmm. Will the prosecution file any possible legal moves questioning the grant of bail to De Lima?
We do not want to micromanage anything of this nature. They are very independent. That's what you call prosecutorial independence. And also following the system of institutional continuity that we inherited these cases from the past regime, from the past government, and that we just give due respect to the actions of the past regime, because they actually go through the institution I'm representing now, and that we cannot just supplant or overturn anything that they've decided before. That would be a gross disrespect to the process by which we live as a democracy.
When for example, sir, the panel of prosecutors, for example, they have a strategy in mind. Do they tell you, as DOJ Secretary, that ilalatag po namin yung plano namin, but it doesn't matter, or will it even matter if you support them or not? Let me put some context here, sir. Wasn't it during the second case that was dismissed of the former senator, where the prosecution filed some manifestation to be able to reopen this case. Kasi ito po yung kay pag-recant ni Mr. Ragos, ano po. And I remember, and looking back, you said you support the decision of the panel of prosecutors. So let me go back to my question. Pag meron ho ba sila mga planong ganito, do they seek your approval? Do they just tell you, or do they just do it on their own?
Actually, sometimes they tell me, sometimes they do it on their own. Sometimes we ask questions when we have to answer in instances like this. But this time, we have let it be. We never really interfered with the way they run the cases. It is not for us to tell them what to do, because it is something they started a long time ago, and that they were the ones who built up the case that they filed. So we have nothing. We cannot really interfere with the way that the prosecution runs this. If we try to micromanage everything that the prosecution did throughout the country, then we'll be left with nothing to manage. It will be too much for us.
You would be left with no time, I guess, sir, if you had to micromanage.
Yes, thousands of cases.
Apo. But, so, to be clear, sir, yung panel of prosecutors ho ba, from, sabi mo nga, minana lang naman ito ng current administration, are these still the same panel of prosecutors in, I guess, 2017, or when the case actually began? Because she was incarcerated, the former senator was incarcerated sometime in Feb 2017.
Really the same panel, because their leader, the provincial prosecutor of Bulacan, he is retiring shortly, but he's been the one leading that for the longest time.
Okay. So it's up to them. In other words, sir, but if they were to say, we plan to question, for example, the bail given to the former senator, hypothetically, is this something you would support, or would you would say, hindi na, sinabi na nung judge, there is, ano ho ba sabi ni judge, to be exact, the prosecution was not able to discharge its burden of establishing that the guilt of the said accused is strong.
I will leave it to them. I will not interfere anymore. I mean, I never really wanted to interfere in these cases, because I've always felt that we just respect the institutional continuity, Pinky. Yung mga dating kaso na ito man ay sinuportahan, o kaya tinulungan, o kaya itinulak, hindi natin alam kung ano nangyari noon, eh hayaan na natin sila, kasi best judgment ito ng mga political actors in that time.
Just, you are obviously anytime free, sir, to answer or not, no? But just taking it as a lawyer, hindi ho ba? Kasi abogado ho kayo eh. Yung pong sinabi kasi ni Judge Hitos, when he said that the prosecution was not able to, let me say that again, discharge its burden of establishing the guilt of the accused is strong. I know that, sir, temporary liberty lang po ito, ano po, and the case is still pending. Pero pag sinabi po ng ganun yung judge, and alam naman po natin that to have a conviction, it has to be proof beyond reasonable doubt. In other words, wala pong kaduda-duda. Pero pag sinabi na po ng judge sa ngayon na hindi po napakita na yung guilt of the accused is strong, but this is just, again, to be very clear about it, the bail, regarding the bail, as a lawyer, what are the chances that the judge will actually acquit Senator Leila De Lima?
Chances are she'll be acquitted. Chances are. Because that is a very strong statement when you say that the prosecution was unable to fulfill that burden of proof that is necessary for them to keep her in detention. The iota of doubt is very high in the grant of bail. And remember, it's a non-bailable offense. And once they are able to overtake this presumption of non-bailability and a bail is granted, then the momentum is very much in favor of the defense. I think that's a way that any lawyer would look at the case.
So bilang DOJ Secretary, dahil ito po ang naging desisyon ni Judge para po sa inyo, there's a big chance that she will be acquitted. Just to summarize what you said.
There's a big, malaking chance niyan, Pinky.
Okay, all right.
Kasi yung bail hindi ginagawa ng basta-basta unless talagang kumbinsido yung judge. Iba talaga yung sistema ng justisya natin. Hindi naman tayo jury system. we trust the judge with making a decision in this matter. Yun talaga yung sistema natin na pinaiiraw sa ating bansa. And we respect.
All right. Sir, moving on to former Congressman Arnie Teves. Sir, you reportedly raised the issue, please correct me if I'm wrong, of former Congressman Arnie Teves to the Timor-Leste government during his visit last week. And from my understanding, you wanted them to turn over Teves. Tama ho ba yung word? Turn over Teves to Philippine authorities?
There was no talk of that kind. What had transpired was a question and answer about the way that a judicial system is run, a criminal justice is run, the criminal justice system is run. And I was telling the good president, His Excellency, about how we run our criminal justice system. And he was very interested. And when the topic of Mr. Teves came up, we didn't talk about any merits of the case. I just told him that I would write a letter to His Excellency to explain the situation, and from there he can act as he pleases. And that is in accordance with the law that we know, the law between nations, so to speak.
So, was there any response from him when you brought this issue up?
Well, yes. He's not very pleased at the fact that his country is being made to be the refuge of somebody who's accused of terrorism. He does not know the merits of the case. That's why we didn't really talk at length, because it was not proper to talk about the merits of a case that's pending in court here, but with the presumptions that are laid when cases have been filed in the judiciary and warrants of arrest have been issued. So it's more of a criminal justice system that we explained to the good president, and he actually sought our help in establishing and improving the criminal justice system, because our experience in the country is more than 100 years of having a criminal justice system, and our population of more than 100 million is a very strong indication of how thorough a system that we may have. And probably my experience as the governor of Cavite before, with 6 million people, which is 3 times bigger than the population of Timor-Leste, would also impress upon him that the experience is there about how we run things as a country, or probably as a province before.
But where is Congressman Arnie Teves? Is he in Timor-Leste?
He's still in Timor-Leste.
Okay.
He filed an appeal with their Court of Appeals. They don't have a Supreme Court yet. And that the appeal is pending. The denial of his asylum is pending. And if once this is denied, he will be deported to his port of origin.
I see. So there is a pending appeal on the decision of the Timor-Leste
Yes.
government to junk his political asylum request. Tama ho ba,
Yeah.
Secretary?
Yeah.
So inapila po niya ito.
The president is no fan of this kind of drama. I think that he knows the good between. It's very easy for him to determine between good and bad, and he's no fan of this kind of drama. He can really read between the lines what's happening in the judicial system, and what kind of effect it can have with having Mr. Teves there.
Yeah, sorry, sir. I need to follow up before I go on a gap. When do you expect a decision from the Court of Appeals of Timor-Leste? And if this is denied, what is the responsibility of Timor-Leste? Are they responsible to hand him back or ibalik po sa kanyang?
Well, the first responsibility, unless we are able to come up with the documents faster, would be for them to deport him from his port of origin. But once we issue a request for extradition, or once we issue a request for rendition, that is another matter that they will have to tackle later on. That will be a test, of course, of this anti-terror law as envisioned by the United Nations.
All right.
Of the duty of states to render unto the others for trial those who are wanted for terrorism.
Still have a lot of questions, sir, but I need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. Secretary, just quickly, still on Teves, no? Why have you not filed this request for extradition or rendition? And please explain what this rendition is. I'm sorry, I don't know what this request for rendition is.
We cannot file a request for extradition because we do not have a treaty yet with Timor-Leste. Usually, countries, Pinky, sign with their bilateral relations, sign 3 agreements to make way for many of the things needed by the criminal justice system. The first agreement that usually happens is the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, where we help each other thresh out many of the things that have to be threshed out between the legal systems of both states, and that's the basis for the agreement. The second agreement is the extradition treaty, which of course is based always on the fact that the criminal justice systems are compatible with each other.
Okay.
An example is having a death penalty, an active death penalty being practiced by a state, which we do not do anymore, and which Timor-Leste does not like. And the third agreement after that would be the transfer of sentenced persons, which is a necessity because, like in the case of Timor-Leste, several Filipinos have been put in jail already. More than 30 Filipinos have been put in jail. And one of the reasons why probably Senator Manny Pacquiao goes there is to help out many of these persons who have been put in jail in the past.
And because, I understand, sir, kaya po in the past, no, there was of course this thought that kaya siya nagpunta doon dahil walang extradition treaty, ano po. What is the way to be able to, siguro, ano ho ang paraan para maibalik siya dito sa Pilipinas dahil meron po siyang warrant of arrest? Ganun na lang po.
Rendition. Yung sinasabi kong rendition. Under the United Nations, agreement on terrorism, there's a duty of states to turn over to host states, the duty of host states to turn over to the states of jurisdiction those who have pending cases of terrorism in their countries, so that they can be held for trial. So that is one thing we have not tested yet. And nobody, I believe, has already tested this in the world. And we might be the first case of rendition to be filed before the United Nations, before the state of Timor-Leste, and before the United Nations, probably.
Sir, when do you plan to do this?
Very soon. Our State Council and our legal team has been at work. We just have to dot the I's and cross the T's and be thorough about every review possible on these matters, because these are very, very critical documents that we are preparing.
But just when you say soon, would it be before the end of the year? By December?
Probably it's a good Christmas gift for Mr. Teves.
All right. And what about his passport? I understand that, has it been canceled? Can this be done?
We are also, when I inquired into that, then I suppose because there's no automatic mechanism in our country that asks for cancellation of passport. So I had to look into it, and now we're looking into that now. And our State Council is also hard at work in this matter.
Opo. Okay. Next issue, sir. Bantag and Zulueta, sir, where are they? Warrant of arrest, I believe, was issued April.
Bantag was spotted in the environs of Metro Manila and Region 4. That is the tip that we got. And we're running after him. And we will get him.
Are you getting impatient, sir? Because for most part, media has been asking you that. I've interviewed you many times, and that's always been the mahuhuli namin siya. But April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months, sir. Are you getting impatient?
Ano mga Pinky, itong trabaho ko is a long waiting game. Walang overnight dito. An example that I can give you is a year ago, nobody gave us a chance to catch the suspects in the missing Sabongeros case. And now we have them in custody. Sinatsaga lang namin, Pinky, sa araw-araw na ginawa ng Diyos, hindi ka pwedeng mawala ng pag-asa. Dapat dito matibay ang loob mo at hindi ka nawawalan ng pasensya at hindi mataas ang pride mo kasi may limitasyon talaga ang poder na ibinigay sa iyo.
Okay. Again,
pero kasi dapat sumunod ka. Diba?
Okay.
Ganun talaga yung Pinky. Chinatsaga talaga namin yan sa araw-araw. And you know, yung missing sa Bongeros case, for 6 months we were facing all of these families with not a new clue present. But we faced them every month just to make sure that they didn't feel abandoned by the law. Kaya ganun talaga ang trabaho namin, Pinky. Walang mabilis dito. Talagang tsatsagain mo. Kaya marami ang nahihirapan sa trabaho ito kasi pag sineryoso mo, talaga mabigat din sa kalooban paminsan-minsan.
Again, another short break. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. Sir, so thank you. During the break, we talked about the confidential funds that was slashed, no? Dito sa DOJ, Office of the Secretary. We will have that, we will do an article on that. But let me move on to this, sir. Ito pong sa foreigners with Philippine passports, sir. Ito pong mga POGO. Here's my question, sir. 6 buildings, torture chamber, botica, grocery, massage parlor. And here's the thing, sir. It's supposed to be, according to Senator Gatchalian, beside the DFA, beside a police station, and very near the Senate. Secretary Remulla,
And City Hall.
how can something like this happen under, siguro, their noses, our nose? Paano po nangyayari yung ganito? At siguro ang talagang salita, sir, is lantaran.
We have written letters already to the City of Pasay. And we have talked to the DILG. Kasi police station yung katabi nila. So definitely may protection yan ng police station. Napakabigat dito, Pinky, kasi nakikita mo talaga na lantaran nga ginagawa itong klaseng aktibidad na ito. Nakakaiba talaga, Pinky, pag pumunta ka ron at nakita mo yung mga kwarto na ginagamit nila na ika nga sa Pilipino, sa mga kababayan natin, doon kinakatay ang mga biktima ng trafficking. Pag sinabing kinakatay, ginagamit sa kanilang mga katawan at pinagsasamantalahan sila. Napakabigat ito, Pinky. Talagang hindi tayo maaaring pumayag sa ganitong uri ng... Ito may permit sa PAGCOR to, Pinky. Kaya nga, nagbago na ang aming pagtingin sa POGO na kahit may permit o walang permit, pag may naroon kami nabalitaan ng trafficking, papasukin namin yan ng Interagency Committee Against Trafficking.
Sure na po. So that's what you're gonna do because I think during the hearing, it was PAGCOR. If I'm not mistaken, sir, no, I'm trying to recall, na tinatanong ni Senator Win Gatchalian, parang sinasabi po nila, was it PAGCOR or law enforcement, that they can't just enter. Kasi magbumuka din pong hinaharas ng otoridad, yung POGO, at baka pong lumalabas na nangingikil itong mga otoridad.
Ang PAGCOR, Pinky, merong visitation rights. Kaya lang, siyempre, hindi siya kasing bigat ng ginagawa namin na nagkukuha kami ng search warrant na nagre-return kami sa korte ng resulta ng mga search na aming kinoconduct. Diyan nagtutulong talaga ang PAOK, ang Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, at ang IACAT, ang Interagency Committee Against Trafficking. Nagtutulong talaga sila na ma-establish ang basehan ng lahat ng mga aksyon na ginagawa namin laban sa mga pogong taliwas sa batas at hindi sumusunod sa mga patakaran ng Republika.
Sir, sabi mo nga nagbago yung inyong pananaw na sa last question. Senators have been asking to ban POGOs. Get them out. Do you think they should just get out of the country already?
Law, Pinky. We have to follow the law. Our mandate is to follow the law. You're talking about policy. It's not up to us to render policy in this matter. But if they seek our opinion, then we will give them our honest opinion about it.
Tell me your honest opinion now. Could you please, sir?
There's a lot of questions already, the existence of POGOs. And that's my honest opinion.
All right. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, sir, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.